Hey, you know what? It's Bum Slide Thursday, sliding right into Friday. Thank you very much. Hope you're having an awesome morning so far. I have Kim Kardashian news because I know you're waiting.
Don't. Kim Kardashian's in the news?
I know, it's hard to believe, but she did the cover of Vogue magazine. So, like, no large surprise there, right? You would think, well, of course she did, you know. Really cute picture of her in her kitchen. Gosh, I wanted that kitchen. With all her 3 kids sort of in the shot and stuff. Very, very cute. She's all glammed up and the kids are wearing sweats. It's kind of, you know, juxtaposition. Mm-hmm. But inside, she's talking about the fact that she's going to follow in her father's footsteps and become a lawyer. So in California, apparently, you don't have to have graduated from college to become a lawyer. All you need to do is be an apprentice for a law firm. So she actually joined a 4-year apprenticeship with a law firm in San Francisco. So she has to be there for 4 years. And she is planning to take the bar in 2020. So I don't know how that works because she just took this 4-year apprenticeship, but then she's going to take the bar in 2020, but then you're supposed to, I don't know. She'll, you know what, maybe she's getting ready for when her kids grow up.
Maybe she's getting ready for her divorce.
She also in the
she
article
can represent
talks,
herself.
Speaking of that, also in the article she talks about Kanye's bipolar diagnosis.
She does.
She does, and indicates that he's not taking medication because it changes who he is. Yeah, and but they're learning to be able to recognize when episodes are going to happen.
And then what do they do with him?
Then they put him in a little bedroom downstairs, lock the door. And there's a food hatch at the bottom of the door, so they just slide his trays in there, and they wait till he, you know, is sensible again. So next time he might be there for 4 or 5 years. They just are anticipating that they're going to be able to handle it. He's traveling less because apparently that triggers it.
I just don't.
Me neither.
Bipolar disorder is
it's serious. It's not, you know what? It's difficult.
You want to live.
You can have a happy life. You need to take care of yourself, whatever that means. You know.
I don't think I've ever heard of anybody who purposely wants to live without medication for something like bipolar disorder. If you had the choice, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I guess he thinks enough of himself.
Here's what I think. I think I need to learn more about what doctors think about, mental health experts. What do they advocate for? Do they say that's an okay thing? Don't take your medication, and when you are in a manic state, as long as your family and friends support you, then that's okay. If they know how to deal with you when you're manic, then don't take the medication. I just don't know what medical professionals say, and I'd like to know.
Yeah, it would be interesting because a lot of mental health advocates really are into explaining why medication is so helpful, because technically it's an imbalance in the brain. So there's a lack of a hormone in your brain. So if you were diabetic, you'd take insulin shots, right, to get the balance back. So I don't know, but I have also heard how, you know, medication can make you loopy and, you know.
Well, I think for some people medication, he doesn't feel like himself. I think that's what, for some people, it flatlines your emotions too much and you just feel like you're not feeling anything.
Right.
And I can appreciate that that's not a nice way to live either.
Right.
But there are instances where people who have untreated bipolar disorder can have episodes that are harmful.
Yes, to themselves.
And others.
Plus, when you're like, nobody has to, in my opinion, in this day and age, in 2019, nobody has to live an unhappy life because of mental health. There are so many medications, there are so many therapy options that you can take. I guess you have to think enough of yourself to really enjoy yourself in the way you are, to not want to change that. That's a slam against Kanye. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'd need to.
I would be, if I was her, I'd be like, is he going?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, he's going again.
Yeah.
You know? Because
boy.
it's very volatile for a lot of people. So.
Well, okay. I want to find out more about untreated bipolar disorder,
I'll leave that with you,
or whether or not that's something that people choose to do, and how. Okay. You've raised something interesting for me to look at.
Well, you know what? People that I've spoken to over the years that have been diagnosed with mental illness are looking for a solution, because they spend so much of their time being unhappy that they don't want to be unhappy. So they're willing to do whatever it takes. So it's an interesting perspective.
It is.
Yeah, but you also, like back in the day when Ritalin they were feeding it to the kids at school like it was candy, and kids were like stoned. And, you know, teachers did it because they were hyperactive and that would shut them up. So maybe it's the same kind of, you know,
hey,
hard to say.
Speaking of stoned,
you are.
I know I'm not, but I was reading about cannabis. And how there's still a whack of illegal pot coming into the country. There's still a huge black market for it. It's still very attached to organized crime because the price is lower and there's more availability.
And the availability thing I think is the biggest issue, because from what I've seen and the research I've done on it, the prices in Ontario for cannabis that is legal now, of course, is pretty reasonable.
So I think the figure I saw was 57 cents, but I don't know if that's like a gram or like, I don't know what the measurement was, but it was like it's more expensive for the retail cannabis than for black market,
I guess.
And they're saying it's going to take a while for the retail outlets to sort of match the price on the black market, but they better get there fast, because that's the whole point of having it available legally, is to wipe out the black market and get rid of the organized crime selling.
There's a large percentage of people who replied to that lottery in Ontario to have stores in their towns and didn't make the deadline, and they're paying like $500 penalties every day that they don't open. So
wow.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of regulations, and you know, it all happened very quickly. So yeah, I think once everything settles, like in a year, it would be interesting to look at the markets. You know, if the legal market is still more expensive than the illegal
how many years have we been selling cigarettes, and contraband is still cigarettes are still a big thing. So I don't know that it'll ever stop.
Yeah.
As long as something's available cheaper, people are going to go to it, even if it's illegal.
And like you said too, it's so about the bigger picture, right? Because now you're talking about crime and organized crime, and like pot or drugs really, you know, affect that.
Yeah. Criminals. Who's the number one criminal in the news today? Julian Assange.
Wow.
So this is the WikiLeaks guy, right? The one that leaked all that information during the campaign about the Democrats and Hillary and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so he's been living in Ecuador, is it?
In the embassy. Embassy building in Ecuador for like 6 years or something.
And they have not enjoyed having him as a guest. So that's where he has been seeking asylum, because there are sexual assault charges against him in Britain. And then there would also be espionage charges, something like there'd be charges against him in the States. So he's been hiding out in this embassy in Ecuador, and they have not enjoyed having him there. No. Apparently he's disgustingly filthy. He does not clean himself properly, has not been cleaning his room. Yeah, he's been breaking all kinds of rules. And now I guess he's been leaking personal information about the Ecuadorian people who live there, like the leader of the country, whatever the guy's name is.
Like seriously, you're living in the embassy in the country, and now you're leaking
personal information about the people who live in the embassy. I guess who lives in the embassy? The people who are the leaders of the country of Ecuador.
Yeah, or the U.S. ambassador, or the Canadian.
Anyway, he's been leaking stuff about how they live, because he's in that same place.
Maybe he ought to take a shower the next time.
Did you see his picture coming out? Okay,
No.
he doesn't look like that anymore.
No.
White, long hair, a full white beard. He looks like he's Rip Van Winkle at the age of 80.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
The years have not been kind to him in
And they
political
walked,
asylum.
apparently, as soon as the Ecuadorian government said,
Boom.
yeah, we're not.
the Ecuadorian government called the British government and said, send people to come and get him. We are removing asylum status
Yes.
for him.
So they were there like.
So they were able to go on the
Yeah.
asylum and just take him out because Ecuador said, no, we wash your hands of you, Julian Assange, our hands of you. So he's going to England, I guess, to face the sexual assault charges. And then who knows what's happened.
Well, then you-
Are they going to extradite him to the U.S. on
They
those
would have to do
charges?
something about that because that's such a large thing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Happy Barbershop Quartet Day, Luann.
Oh,
Hello, hello, hello.
hello.
April the 11th, 1938, the founding of the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America.
I love the sound of barbershop quartet.
Me too. Let's go work on our harmonies together. Yeah. And we'll be right back with an interview with the Algoma Veterans Association. Stay with us on Mornings with Luann and Tim on this lovely Bum Slide Thursday. And joining me in the studio now on Mornings with Luann and Tim, Frank Ietzi and Troy Bailey. Welcome, Algoma Veterans Association.
How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for joining us again, Frank. Nice to see you again. Troy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So, the Algoma Veterans Association, let's talk a little bit about the history of it, Frank. When was it formed and why?
About 2 years ago, we came together, two guys having coffee.
Yeah.
Started talking that we needed something in the city and the Algoma district to help veterans.
Okay.
And it's ended up being about 120 people now.
No kidding. Wow.
So we're moving fast. Things are going good.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that you want to accomplish. First of all, it's just a support, right?
100%. Help veterans helping veterans.
Veterans helping veterans.
That's what we're about.
And then there's an end goal that is the sort of the ideal would be
The beautiful retreat. That's what we want to do. On some water, hopefully, some property attached to it, a couple acres, 3, 4, whatever, and be able to bring in professionals to help the veterans there.
okay. What is your experience with military service there? Troy?
I have 25 years service. I'm born and raised here in Sault Ste. Marie.
Right.
I joined the local reserve unit here, like a lot of us do when we were 18. Combined two of my passions together, aircraft and the military. I became an aircraft maintenance engineer in the military for the next 22 years.
22 years. Hey, that's similar to your story, isn't it? How many- aren't you about 22
Yeah,
years?
22 years, yeah.
And also aircraft,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Did you guys know each other?
Not
Isn't that wild? Because were you stationed in different places or how did
Oh,
that?
yeah. like-
two different spots.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he had seized wing and I had rotary wing, so that's how we.
So it must have been really amazing to be back in Sault Ste. Marie and to meet somebody whose experiences were so similar.
They're tremendous experiences. We're meeting people every day. Veterans stick together. It's hard to describe.
Because it's an experience that there's nothing like it.
Right.
Frank and I have talked about how when you enter, you're 18 years old and you're going in and you are being clothed by the military,
Yeah.
you're being cooked for by the military, you're being housed by the military, and you're being basically employed by the military.
Correct.
You do 22 years and now you're coming home again and you haven't really done those things for yourself. Did you find that experience, Troy? I mean, you were in young.
Yep. What the military does is when you join, they basically strip you down, build you up, so we're all the same.
Ah,
When that's what, you hear boot camp and all that kind of stuff, that's where it starts.
right.
And it starts, and we all are built the same.
And there's
we
a
all have
reason
this-
behind it. Obviously, they need to create a machine, really.
That's what we
right.
basically. That's what they do. A machine.
So if, when you meet a veteran, and you're a veteran, it's like you've known each other all your life.
All your lives,
Because it's like you can talk the same lingo, you can talk the same language, and they get it,
right?
is what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
Can I ask a personal question?
Certainly.
PTSD, have you had any occurrences of PTSD?
Yes, I had an OSI that happened to me in 2002.
I'm sorry, OSI.
Occupational stress injury is what we call those.
Okay.
And PTSD was diagnosed with myself about 7 years after that, not even realizing I had it.
Whoa.
And then other things go along with PTSD because you're not just the mental health side of it, it plays into your physical being as well, PTSD, and it'll play out in different
It makes your
aspects.
body sick.
For me, I got sick and no one knew why I was sick. Doctors were doing tests. I was in the hospital 10 days. They're telling me, you better stay there because things aren't going well for you. But they couldn't, the tests were saying things were bad, but I just felt different. And next thing you know, I started putting two and two together, and
Right.
it all came around, and I got the help I needed.
And it's so many different forms.
Oh, yeah.
There's the religious persecution part of it. There's just the total paranoia, right? What about yourself, Frank?
I don't have PTSD.
No.
I have anxiety,
You have
depression.
anxiety, depression, and you also suffer hearing
Hearing
issues.
loss, big hearing loss, yes. Around jet engines, my whole career.
Right.
And my body just broke down from the different positions and
Contorting yourself to get into these aircraft.
For sure.
So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
a lot of
neck, back,
back injury,
yeah,
chronic pain.
all the time.
And to live with that, wow, and on top of everything else. Now, and then we got to consider also that when you're, societally speaking, you're coming back into, you've been in the Army, you've been hanging around under those conditions, and now suddenly you're back to society. Very different set of social standards.
Oh, for sure. Big time.
Feeling awkward, feeling not fitting in, that kind of thing. Do you find that, did you find that socially when you came home?
Very difficult to fit in.
Very hard to adjust, yeah.
Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to adjust because just the way we are trained and skilled, everything's a no-fail. Everything has to be done now. There's no questioning, right? That's the way the military is designed.
You're told what to do and you do it.
You've heard this scenario, you're told to jump, then you ask how high when you're in the air. And that's the way we work. So to come back to a society where they say, well, no, just a minute, we're going to relook at that and make sure it's the right way to do it. We don't get things done, we get frustrated.
Right.
We're like, you're not meeting the goal, and that's what we want to take over and take charge. And it becomes very difficult in a different society that's not designed that way.
Yeah.
The military machine is designed a certain way to move forward constantly, whether it's in small increments or big increments. But when you try to adapt that to civilian life, it doesn't work.
The other thing about your training,
Yeah.
22 years working on planes. Frank, tell me the story again in case people didn't know it about how qualified you are, but how you couldn't work without taking
We're it's,
You know what I mean?
it's amazing that, I mean, the military trains you to the top position you can get, right? And you're trained to fix aircraft, to run aircraft on the ground, and to do other major things, but yet you come to the civilian side of it and you don't have a ticket.
You can't work in your industry because what you were trained to do was just train for the military, and they don't. There's no sort of. They don't take that qualification as now you can work on planes commercially.
That's right.
And without going and getting your ticket, which is a whole other ordeal.
It's not transparent, but you'd have to challenge and go through the process again.
Amazing.
So it's like, you take a guy who's worked in the industry for 25 years and tell him he has to go back to the beginning.
So the Algoma Veterans Association, there's definitely there's a gap here,
Yes.
and you guys are trying to help fill it.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
And in order to do that, in order to have to get this ideal going with the land and the retreat, you're starting to raise some money.
Yes, we are.
And so that's why we're having a party.
Yeah, party, yeah.
Big old party at the Primavera Hall, April 27th. You say ticket sales are going well.
Fantastic.
How do we get more? Where do we get those
Contact
tickets?
us at 705-975-4682 or ssmveterans@gmail.com.
Okay. Is there any kind of a Facebook page or anything
Yeah,
going?
we have a Facebook page. It's AVA Support Group.
There you go.
And you can get some contact from there.
Contact information there as well. Do you mind just running over there and getting that guitar
I
there,
will.
Troy? What is this? Somebody's donated this? Or
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Look, this is gorgeous.
I don't know if you
Algoma Veterans guitar. Who did this?
straight up and down.
Yeah, who did this?
His name is Dave Ostrowski Gallant.
Dave.
He's a local airbrush and custom painting.
Wow.
His business is called Doghouse.
Okay.
And, fantastic work. Fantastic.
So this is going to be available as a door prize, or you can buy a ticket to win this, or how does that work?
We're going to do a silent auction on this.
Silent auction. Okay, cool. And also, that's great, Troy. Thanks. And also, then at the party, you're going to have any kind of.
We got more prizes.
More prizes.
Yeah, and the door prize is a 7-night stay anywhere. That's the stay. That's the hotel.
Yeah.
Get that out there. And there's
You can get anywhere.
anywhere in the world. 7 nights.
So you just get yourself down there and you get 7 nights in the hotel. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. So wherever you want to go.
All right. So April the 27th at the and also the Legion's been helping you guys out with ticket sales too, right?
Correct. Yes.
Can we get tickets to the Legion?
Yes, you can.
There you go. Another spot you get the Legion. Support the Algoma Veterans Association. Have a great time. Go meet these guys. Party. You know, nobody parties like a like a vet. Okay, Primavera Hall. Frank, nice.
Thank you.
No,
Nice
our
to see you,
pleasure. Nice meeting you, Troy. Thanks for sharing your story with us.
problem.
We'll be back with Luann right after this. Luann, do you have any kind of fear of bees or wasps or stuff like that?
I'm not fond of them, but I don't
Not a fear.
freak out.
Like
no.
you just go like, wasp,
Yeah,
bee.
but I've seen people who run away from them when
Yeah.
they're around. Yeah, I don't. I just sit still and wait till they go away.
Yeah, I've been stung. One day I put my hand. I was in a car and I just rested my hand on a bag of the bag that was in the back of the
Right.
car, and I guess and a bee stung me right there,
Yeah.
and it just felt like a warm burning. It's like, ooh, it didn't really hurt that
I
bad.
remember once when we were at camp when we were all kids, and all my aunts and uncles had camps, so we would go and stay overnight as kids because we were the only ones in the family who didn't have a camp. My little brother, Greg, had stepped on a wasp nest, and we didn't know. And I can still, in my mind, look down, and my dad used to buzz cut their hair, my brothers, and his little bald head was covered
In stings?
in wasps.
Oh, and wasps.
They were like, I
Ooh.
couldn't see, and
Did they sting him?
was starting to get a little bit upset, so I was just wiping them off. I was thinking,
Really?
get off my
You were
brother.
calm.
Yeah, I just kind of, boom. And then my dad, I'll never forget, put mud on all the bites.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said apparently that's supposed to help.
Well, I think it takes the sting out.
Yeah.
Wasps I don't like. Wasps
No,
sting.
they're- yeah.
I think wasp stings hurts more than a bee sting.
They hurt. They're just crazy.
I walked through, open toe, like flip flops,
Yes.
and a bee got stuck between my baby toe, and in between the flip flop, and my baby toe, and I was like, and I
Oh,
stand
that's
there, yeah.
not good.
No, but anyway, the reason I ask is because there's a guy in Arizona. He actually, Luann, he died.
What?
He had an outdoor couch. You know how you have an old sofa sitting outside.
Was he
and
allergic to them?
No, he was removing a bee's nest from this outdoor couch.
Mm-hmm.
They swarmed him and they bit him they stung him so much, he got poisoned and he died.
Oh my word.
There were so many coming out of this couch. They'd all just right? But then you think that's weird? How about this lady in Taiwan? There's something about bees. So she was she was at a gravesite and she's pulling weeds and she thought, oh, my eye hurts, something's going on. But she was wearing contact lenses, so she didn't want to rub because she didn't know what it was.
Right.
But so she ended up, her vision was getting worse and the eye was getting sore. She went in to the doctor. She had 4 bees living under her eyelid.
What?
They were living under her eyelid. They got in there, and they said it's a good thing that she didn't rub her eye because she could have. They might have gotten angry, and they could have.
Oh my word!
Those are called sweat bees. They feed on perspiration and tears.
Oh, that's gross.
She was down to 10% of her eyesight, and they have a venom in them that would have blinded her for life if she had irritated them.
Could you imagine that?
4 bees living under your eyelid.
Oh my
They had to
gosh,
remove them.
I can't even imagine that.
I know.
Thank goodness she didn't, because for me, anything.
I'd be like,
yeah, right?
Yeah. Wow.
She would have had bee guts all over her eyeball.
Bee venom.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's-
okay.
Wow, so scary.
I know. Do you have good news for us coming up
I
at
do.
all?
I have
Okay.
great news. Well, it's news. So stay with us on Mornings with Luann and Tim, just 'cause. And it's also Bum Slide Thursday. Just found out that the Canadian Country Music Association is airing its annual award show on Global TV.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they're partnering up together, and that means that ET Canada is going to do a red carpet show prior to it. And they're going to do the show for September 8th. And for the first time in 30 years, there will be an Entertainer of the Year in Canada.
We've never
country.
had one for country music.
30 years.
Who are the big? Do you don't mind country music?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any Canadian? I mean, if you say country music in Canada to me, I'm going to go Terry Clark, and that's about the only name I know.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with the genre.
I don't. Yeah, I like what I like kind of in country music. I don't particularly seek it out. But when I do see a performer, I know whether or not they're Canadian, generally speaking.
So do
yeah.
you know any other big name Canadian country music artists right now? Could you name one if you had?
Tommy Hunter.
Oh, Luann. Do you remember Tommy Hunter?
I do. I met Tommy Hunter.
He did a show. He
was so lovely.
He had a variety show.
Yeah, he was tall.
Tall.
Oh my God, and so gentle. Just such a gentle man.
Wait, now what was the show? Don Ramsey. Remember Donna Ramsey and her husband, Donna and Leroy? Whose show did they sing on? Was that the Tommy Hunter show? I think it was. Did you know? You weren't from here, so maybe you didn't know that. Did you ever know in broadcasting, Don Ramsey?
Yes.
The country music, and he was like a DJ, right?
Yes, right.
I mean, a radio personality.
Yes.
His daughter, Donna Ramsey, married this guy named Leroy, Donna and Leroy, and they were a married couple duo.
Yes, I remember Donna and Leroy.
Okay, well, I think they were the featured act on the, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was the Tommy Hunter show, and that's how they became kind of famous from Sault Ste. Marie. I wonder where they are these days.
I wonder what's happening.
Oh, look, that's Don Ramsey right there, for heaven's sakes.
I met him actually a couple of times, got to interview him a couple of times for different things.
Yeah.
What a lovely guy.
Yeah,
and that voice. He had this voice. Oh my gosh, he was born to do radio. Really.
Yeah.
He just, yeah.
You were born to do radio too with that face.
Gee, and I put some nice lipstick on for you and everything.
I'm just kidding.
Goof.
Hey, you're getting your hair done today, aren't you?
I'm getting my hair done today. Can't wait. Apparently you can't wait either.
No, now. The National Enquirer.
Legit.
On the block. To be sold. Jeff Bezos, after all the stuff that's happened now, because of all the stuff with the hiding stories, burying stories, all of that stuff, it's taken a hit. I guess it's gone down, and the company's struggling, which is American media, is struggling, and they got to sell off the National Enquirer.
Good.
That's huge.
Oh, that's a monster. You know what?
That was Joan Rivers' favorite magazine.
And well,
she said she couldn't go to the bathroom without it. She said the National Enquirer for me. It's like bran. I sit down, I open the National Enquirer, done. It's like bran.
Well, it's surprising to me that it hasn't been close to being on the chopping block prior to now.
Trump
honestly.
must build the wall. The Trump, nobody knows they love him.
Oh gosh, are you kidding?
Because he's good friends with the guy that owns it, right?
Yeah, and they talk about him more than we talk about him.
Yeah, but they say nice things.
Yeah, as if.
Go figure. But they say that
that's why they're going bankrupt. They say nice things about Trump.
Nice things about Trump, but they say that Hillary Clinton is like pregnant by an alien.
Yeah, all right, because let's believe that.
Coming up next, I have an interview. Ooh, Science Festival.
Ooh.
I had no idea. It's been going on for like 5 years. Does it ever sound cool? And you're going to hear all about it too, right after this, on Mornings with Luann and Tim.
This set it completely.
Laura Sorelli is how I say it properly.
Yep.
Welcome, Laura.
Thank you.
We're live on television already. Boom, we're back. And Helena Hopalainen. That's one of my favorite names to say because it cools the palate. So, Helena's from the library. You're from?
The Innovation
Center. So, we're here because the Science Festival is coming up, April?
23rd to the 27th.
23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Tuesday through Saturday?
That's correct.
Oh, and that's right after the Easter Monday, right? It kicks off.
That's right.
Beautiful. And I had no idea that it's been going on for 5 years.
This is the 5th annual, Timothy.
So, has the library always been involved with the Science Festival, Helena?
We haven't been a partner, but we have been involved.
Okay, this year you're partnered.
We're partnered.
Oh, okay.
Because we are hosting the Adult Trivia Night.
Adult Trivia
Night.
See, they do parties at the library now. It's so much fun.
We have Outspoken Brewing going to supply the craft beer.
I just finally scored an interview with them. They're so busy at Outspoken Brewery. Those
They're
guys.
cool.
They are. So they're going to be there doing the taps.
We will have our own Smart Serve person, but
Okay.
we will be supplied by their craft beer.
See, I love they put the pub back in public library.
You got it.
So it's a trivia night. And what is the trivia? Is there a theme for the trivia? Obviously, it's
Well, so you know
science.
what? We have 11 partners, and
Wow.
our managing partner is Science North. So we have people like Algoma University, Canadian Bush Plane Museum, Entomica, Invasive Species Center, Natural Resources. So everybody is sending trivia questions, so we'll have themes, right?
They are sending your sponsors are giving you questions. That's
And
fun.
you know John Dede?
I know John Didis, yes,
So
from
he's
the
gonna-
from the Entomica.
Right. So he's going to be one of the facilitators.
John is. He's got a lot of personality. He does a lot. He does theater. So yeah, John's a great guy and knows so much about bugs. He is so passionate about bugs that he makes bugs interesting.
Exactly.
He's got a real knack for that.
And on the library's behalf, our theme is Roberta Bondar, right?
Oh,
Makes
really?
sense. Sault Ste. Marie?
Roberta Bondar, science. She's the one. Mm-hmm. So, do you have a trivia question for me?
I do.
She's gonna test my skill.
Okay, so Timothy.
Better you than me.
Yes.
Upon liftoff,
Yes.
Roberta Bondar, what song was she distracted by on takeoff?
Oh, so you wanted to be she purposely wanted to listen to a song to take her mind off the takeoff?
Exactly. What do you think might be that
Roberta
song?
Rocket Man.
Wrong.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. No.
Wrong.
No.
Come on, one more. You got it. You sing it every day. I'm sure.
Oh, Canada.
Right on.
I cheated. She told me the answer before. I won't cheat at trivia night though. You can't. You
You
can't.
can't, no. So we have teams of 4, and it's $50, and we have limited tickets, so please come and get your tickets at either location,
Either branch.
either branch, and if you want to come alone as an individual, they're $15 a ticket. And
You
we
can
have
come.
prizes.
You don't have to have a team. You can come by
No,
yourself.
You can come by yourself.
Because I don't have any friends, so that would work for me. What are you? You're sitting here quiet all this time. Helen and I are taking over.
She's taking the lead. So I'm involved with already.
When's this all starting?
So-
on the Tuesday, the 23rd. How does it all kick off? What's the big launch of this?
So we have our film and speaker event, which is the Mysteries of the Great Lakes. So
Ooh.
that starts the morning of at the the theater.
Sault Community Theater
Yep.
Center. That is the theater in White Pines.
Yep.
On their big screen. And it's with the Mysteries of the Great Lakes. Who's Franco Mariotti? Was he involved in the film?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, he's a guest speaker.
Yes.
So that's sort of the launch for the whole thing. And then that night is the trivia.
That night is the trivia
I like
night.
the name of it's not rocket science. That's funny. Good for you.
And you know, Tim,
7
we
p.m.
tried to think of what are we going to call this night? And you know what? It was right there in front of us. We didn't have to reinvent
rocket
the wheel.
science.
It's not rocket science.
Okay, so then look at this. Okay, so that all for 3 days, science, innovation, and math outreach programs.
Yeah, so that's with more or less Algoma University. So they have teams that are built with students that kind of compete with each other in different fields of science. I believe there's coding involved.
Ooh,
I'm not
okay.
sure exactly what the prizes are, but that's something that's fun that people can look forward to. There's also science for seniors that's not mentioned. And Tomica is kind of...
Wait,
they
is that all
can lead-
happening at this science, innovation, math outreach stuff? Or no?
No, so these are different events throughout the week.
Science
that are
for seniors, where's
Science
that?
for seniors, so it takes place at different seniors' homes around within the community.
Oh, is this where does John go with the butterflies and stuff from
Exactly,
Atomica?
yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and then
My mother's in Mapleview, so I've seen them in the lobby, and the residents just love that stuff.
it's nice, right?
Yeah.
They get to interact with things that they don't see on a daily
For
basis.
sure.
Very exotic type of insects too. So
And they get to watch them actually, like, they have the butterfly houses too, where they come and they
Yeah.
hatch, and Okay, so anyway,
And then on April 25th, which is our specific event, the Innovation Center's event.
that's when you're hosting.
Yeah, so ARTI stands for Advanced Research Technology Innovation Expo. So some people may be familiar with just knowing that name associated with our mascot, but the mascot itself has its own event.
Where's that
So
happening?
that's also hosted at Algoma University's campus.
Okay, they're big on this. They are going to be supporting.
So we're fortunate enough to use their campus. So what that event essentially entails is we have 15 different local exhibitors, including Science North as well. They actually present to students from grades 1 through 8. It is by registration, school sign up only.
They get bused there to Algoma U, and they
Yeah.
get to Science North. See, we don't have that. If you haven't visited Science North in Sudbury, this is your chance to actually experience some of what Science North is all about, because they're coming here, right?
Exactly.
But they're very engaging with Sault Ste. Marie, right?
They've
And
been here for
partnering.
I've seen them at other events too, down at the Roberta Bondar Pavilion. I've seen Science North present there. So much fun.
So much fun.
I call that edutainment, because
Exactly.
it's entertaining. It's entertainment, but it's also educational.
Yeah, they're always great too. They put on a nice science show in the speakeasy at the Algoma University.
They're all set up there.
They're all fun and games, so it's great. So a lot of students are interactive with them. that way.
I see Science for Seniors now. There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the Science Olympics? What's that, Laura?
So Science Olympics, essentially, you're catching me off guard here.
Oh.
I'm trying to think
It's the
off the
Ministry of
top of my
Education on
head.
the 24th.
Yes, so I believe. Oh, you're catching me off.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Sorry.
We can look it up. The Science
I actually
Olympics.
might have a note on it.
If it's with the Ministry of Education, I'm guessing it has something to do with the schools then.
Yes, I think that they have different programs that they are doing, or
In the schools?
I believe so. I'd have to
And the
double check.
carnival?
Yes, so the carnival I'm more familiar with too, because
Okay.
we actually take part in that as well as our own exhibitor as the Innovation Center. So a lot of families, youth, anybody really is welcome to come. It's on the Saturday.
Saturday, April 20th. That's the last
Yes.
day of the festival.
The last day of the
The
festival.
wrap up.
So
11
there's-
a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yep, there's balloon animals, there's yoga for students and kids, there's face painting, there's lots of science and interactive
Only
things
$2
that are
to get
going
in?
on. Only $2.
And $10 if you have a family.
Yeah.
So
This is
Laura,
great.
I think the whole Science Week is to engage and interact, and it's for all ages, right?
All
and it's to
ages.
make science shine.
Look at that. Oh, look at the big thing on the picture. That's pretty. That's nice, Michael. Thank you. So, for more information, can we go somewhere? Can we contact
Yes.
the library website or anything like that? Or
You can contact myself
Yeah.
or Laura.
Yeah, you can contact me
At
as
the
well
Innovation Center?
at the Innovation Center. Science Festival also has its own Facebook page,
They do.
so if you search that on Facebook, or if you go to Science North's page online, you can
Everything
also
you
look
need to
that
know.
way too. So
Thanks for coming in today. Always
Thank
a
you
pleasure to
so
see you.
much.
Laura, nice to see you
Nice
again.
to see you.
Helena, my
Thank you,
friend.
Jim.
Okay, Sue Things for Kids coming up.
It's coming up.
We'll talk about that another day.
Okay.
Meanwhile, stay tuned to say goodbye to Luann and I right after this. This is another busy, crazy busy weekend in Sault Ste. Marie. There's so much going on. And if you want to find out what's going on, go to Sue Online to our events calendar. You'll find everything going on in Sault Ste. Marie this weekend.
We have our thumb on the pulse of the community, so check it out. Thanks so much for watching today.
See you tomorrow.